according to YouTube here. We are live. Favorite horror movies of all time. The original Frankenstein movie. So welcome down here to Apter's Alley every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And glad to have you down here. Lots of stuff going on in the pro wrestling world. I want to let you know about something, and I'm trying to get him on the podcast, but I had a discussion this week with hey Dave, welcome into Apter's Alley. I had a discussion earlier this week with someone I haven't talked to in several years. It's probably for many years the biggest star in pro wrestling for years. And the night after he won the WWF title at Madison Square Garden, he gave me something. And talk with this guy. Just a short discussion. We hadn't talked in a few years, and it was good to hear his voice again. And I'm trying to work out some way to get him on the show here down to Apter's Alley. So, but yeah, of course, I'm talking about Hulk Hogan. He sounded great. Nasty Nate, what's the deal, Neil? I'm not sure. Neil McCoy, one of my favorite country music entertainers. Did any of you see the CMT Awards last night? Great. I'm a big country music fan. Not the old school stuff, but more like the past 25 years or so. Love that stuff. And Neil McCoy is one of my favorite entertainers. So hello, everyone, as you're coming into the alley here. Lots of stuff going on, and I will get to your questions and comments later on in the program. The show is brought to you by my book, published by ECW Press. Been out almost 3 years now. If you don't have it, please get it. You can pick it up on Amazon or Barnes and Noble. It's Wrestling Fixed. I didn't know it was broken. That's it. And also there is the audio version. So brought to you by my two products here. Also, later on in our broadcast, the second appearance, and it's rare. I don't think we've ever had someone on for a second time, but we got so many thumbs up to have this guy back on again. David Schultz, Dr. D, David Schultz, the guy that smacked the heck out of John Stossel on 2020 for saying wrestling was fake. So what a great interview he was a few weeks ago. So he will be back today. I also want to bring up that the only pro wrestling magazine, print magazine that I currently write for is this one. This is the newest issue of Total Wrestling Magazine. So I was with them many, many years ago, and it's now edited by and owned by a gentleman named Darren Wood. And it's a great magazine. And I have a monthly column in here every month, of course, called the Apter Files. And this month I talk about my friendship and professional relationship with Andre the Giant. Knew him really well, but it's a great magazine, great quality. The writing is excellent. I don't go with places that aren't professional. And this is just incredible. There's even a great section on total merchandise here. So again, go to Total Wrestling Magazine on Facebook. They're published outside, not outside. They're published outside the United States. They're published in the United Kingdom. And again, by the way, I don't know who Dr. D is. Dr. D is David Schultz. Became very famous for smacking a reporter on 2020, but he was a big star in the WWF for many, many years. So let's go down some of the news here. We're going to call Dr. D, and then later on, for the fourth time, we're going to try and get Robbie E. And I found out the reason why he hasn't been able to connect with us, and it involves some kids. So we're going to talk about that. First of all, through the years, I have personally been there through the growth, not the ghosts, the growth of the WWE. When they started out as the WWF and then became the WWE. I'm sorry, then became the WWF and then became the WWE. And now, since they have their network and since their programming has become so incredibly slick, they are looking to get 3 of their shows nominated, or at least one of the 3, for an Emmy Award. This pro wrestling, what they call sports entertainment, an Emmy Award. I mean, this is, you know what? A lot of people don't agree with what the wrestling business, the WWE business has turned into recently, but this really is something that we have to sit back and go, wow. I mean, this is pretty incredible. There was a live broadcast that lasted about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I caught most of it on the Emmy Awards site called WWE FYC, for your consideration. And Stephanie McMahon hosted 3 panels to let the Emmy world know what WWE is all about. And it was very intriguing where they were comparing it with TV shows. Everybody was out of character, but it was very refreshing. They had 3 panels, as I mentioned. The Raw panel they had, which is on, as you know, every Monday night, like forever. That included Charlotte Flair, Triple H, Roman Reigns, and Shawn Michaels. Yeah. Then they had the mixed match panel, which included Jimmy Uso and his wife Naomi, and Braun Strowman and his partner Alexa Bliss, his partner in that situation. And then what's incredible, because to me this one, the documentary that they ran, WWE 24, Empowered After the Royal Rumble, it was about the women's empowerment movement. It was so great. It had Ronda Rousey, the Bella Twins, Nia Jax, and Sasha Banks on the panel. So it was really very cool, very cool. And the WWE getting an Emmy Award, got an itch in my nose. I hope there's not going to be a fight here. WWE getting an Emmy Award, I think, would be absolutely incredible. Yeah. So right now, before we get a hold of Dr. D, David Schultz, who again has this great book out, Don't Call Me Fake. And I want to mention that this coming Saturday, June 9th, this guy and a ton of legends will be in Monroe Township, New Jersey, exit 8A, I believe it is, or exit 8, at the Legends of the Ring convention, the longest running convention, pro wrestling convention anywhere. And they'll have about 25, 30 legends there. Dr. D will be there if you want to meet him and get his signature on his book. I will be there with my book, Is Wrestling Fixed? I Didn't Know It Was Broken. And I'll be doing interviews, so I'd love to see you down there. Go to www.legendsofthering.com, and you can find out who's going to be there. And I might interview you if you come down there. You can let me know. So this time every week, we hear from Ryan Bowman. Bowman, have my nose fixed and my mouth doesn't work. Ryan Bowman and his partner, Michael Melchior. Go right into my Jerry Lewis imitation when I can't pronounce names. It's Melchior, I believe. I'll get that right from Ryan. But every week he sends us his pick for the Wrestler of the Week. And usually I listen to it before we do the broadcast, but I haven't done that this week. So we're going to hear this together. Ryan Bowman and Michael M. run the classy website, I've always said that, called The Gorilla Position. It's named after Gorilla Monsoon, by the way, that position. So let's see who Ryan Bowman has for this week's.
I'm Ryan Bowman from thegorillaposition.com, telling the stories of pro wrestling storytellers, here to present this edition of the Apter Video Podcast, Wrestler of the Week.
Yeah.
When in doubt, you sometimes have to go to Plan B, and that's precisely what we're doing this week, as we'll be recognizing a pair of performers.
Really?
And speaking of Plan B, it also applies to our award winners. When life gave Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas lemons, they quickly turned it into lemonade, forming the surprisingly successful duo of the B Team. No longer playing backup to The Miz, who left them high and dry after being shuffled off to SmackDown, the former Miztourage has regrouped on Raw. And while the duo might be viewed by many as simply a comedy act, their modest winning streak has resulted in a big spot in 2 weeks at Money in the Bank. Their Battle Royal victory on Monday night will assure them a chance to face Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt for the Raw titles. And win or lose, the pair of second-generation stars have now clearly taken a huge leap from bench warmers to A-level players in the company's tag team roster. WWE fans better get used to seeing a lot of the likable duo, as a pair of solid in-ring performers may have finally found the necessary niche to make them on-screen stars. They've managed to combine their athletic ability with characters that just might stick, and that makes Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, the B Team, our choice for the Wrestlers of the Week.
That's fabulous, Ryan. I'm glad I did not listen to that ahead of time. Now, as you know, I generally stay old school, and I don't reveal a lot of inside information. I've never been that type of person, and I have nothing against that. That's great if people want to do that, but that's not my style. But I got to say something about this match. First of all, I love what they're doing with the B Team. So it's Bo Dallas is going to be in one corner, of course. In the other corner, Curtis Axel and Bray Wyatt. So you know what I'm talking about? Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt are indeed brothers. Their father is Mike Rotundo, IRS. So whoever comes out of this match as winners, one brother is going to be jealous of the other brother. But this B Team is absolutely incredible. I'm a big fan. So let's see how they do at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view coming up on Father's Day. Yeah, I'm going to be sitting. My son's going to be in Atlanta, watching it from there, and he and I will talk back and forth on IM. Money in the Bank, June 17th, only on the WWE Network, only $9.99 a month. Yes, pimping for him because I love that network. Before we get to our first guest, I want to remind everybody that I am all in. Yes, I've accepted the invitation. I'm going to be hosting several panels there. I'll also be bringing my book, Is Wrestling Fixed? I Didn't Know It Was Broken. I'll be signing autographs, taking photos with fans. So I want to thank all of you, by the way, who are fans of mine. And I really, really appreciate your fanship. Yes, I am all in. I will definitely be answering your questions later on the show. But we have a lot of guests to get to. So let me call Dr. D, David Schultz, because I know he wanted to talk about meeting a lot of you people on Saturday at Legends of the Ring. If you have any questions for Dr. D, I can see all your questions over there. Comb over, okay? All right. Let me get the Apter phone. And hit up the dial here. And his number is, I can't tell you that. I cannot do that. And I hope we get a clear connection. Last time we talked to him up in the mountains of wherever he lives, we had a bad connection because there were storms. 3 rings. Where are you, Dr. D?
Hello, Bill Apter.
Hello, Dr. D. I was wondering where the heck you were.
Oh, I'm up here on the highway at a rest area on the way to New Jersey, and I just pulled over and said, "Well, let me move up here in the shade a little bit." As soon as I did, you called.
Well, wait a minute. You're in a rest area. I hope we didn't catch you in the bathroom, did we?
No. I already been to the bathroom. Come back, had 6 calls.
All right. I just wanted to check. So you're on your way to Jersey, where remember here it's Jersey.
Where now? New Jersey.
Yeah, we call it Jersey.
Oh yeah, really? Yeah. It's a nice area up there. I think I'd drive tonight. That way I wake up tomorrow morning driving, I'll be getting in that area. I can adjust to it,
Yeah, well, I was. You got to adjust to the language. So I was telling people that I'm going to be there doing interviews. I'm going to interview you there, and of course, you will be there with your book called "Don't Call Me Fake," which is
right.
Which is an incredible book. I'm almost finished with it, and I love your stories. But people can come. Meet you. They can get the book autographed. And somebody chimed in. They said, for $20, will you John Stossel slap them?
Do what now on that last thing?
They said for $20, would you would you slap them like you slapped John Stossel?
Oh yeah, John Stossel ain't gonna be nowhere near me.
No.
I mean, if he was there, yeah.
No.
If he was there.
The fans want to know if they give you $20, if you'll slap them.
Yeah, tell them put the check in the mail.
Put the check in the mail. I like that.
Yeah. So, put the check in the mail. When I get it, then I'll fulfill it.
Then you'll drive to their home and knock them out, right?
That's right, exactly. I still can't believe that little joke went on his TV show and said his injuries were neurosomatic. And, and he said, that means that I didn't hurt no more after I got paid. This guy, he lied, he perjured himself on federal documentation, depositions and everything else about his injuries, And, even the New York Athletic Commission doctor said he had no injuries at all.
Yeah.
It's a big ripoff,
Does it bug you that when people remember you, that's one of the first things they think about?
Yeah, but I'll tell you, I've been, the last few weeks, I was in St. Louis and different places. I've been doing a few autograph things here and there for different charities, even around Memphis and Jackson.
Yeah.
I go to the senior citizen centers, and I leave a couple of books for them to read. And these people, the seniors, they're great.
I know.
The new wrestlers, the younger wrestlers, they come up and they don't know what's happening.
It's different world. Different world.
And they know me, but they're scared to death, man. I'm in the dressing room, they're shaking. And I said, "What's wrong with you guys?" "Oh, we don't want, we just, we remember you." I said, "How do you remember me? You weren't even born when that happened. So how do you remember me?" He said, "Well, everybody talks about how bad you are." I said, "No, I'm not bad. I'm just a great worker. I make people believe it." And,
Well, wait a minute. These days, bad is good.
Do what now?
These days, bad is good.
Oh, yeah, bad is good and good is bad. It's according to which way you look at it, right?
That's right. So we have a whole bunch of people here asking questions online here. So Richard Bain said, "Who is Dr. D's favorite wrestler growing up?" Interesting question.
Growing up, well, I always remember Herb Welch and Luther Lindsay and what's that other one? Rowdy Red Roberts and different ones, Strangler Lewis. And, but I never really got into wrestling until I went by to see Herb Welch. Somebody told me that, he was starting a school up, and I was one of his first guys that stopped to talk to him. And I really got into it then. I wouldn't watch it every week. I wouldn't watch it on TV or anything because I had to work all the time. Didn't have time to watch wrestling.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I got into it, and my uncle tried to be a wrestler one time. I was about 8 or 10 years old, and he used to take me down to the theater where they was wrestling, and he didn't make it. So I just didn't even think about it no more after that, but he was a big, tough guy,
All right. Michael Fry says, Dr. D, what are your memories of Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff?
Well, I always got along great with both of them. I mean, Paul is a good friend of mine. He's, I went to his house in Atlanta here a few years ago when we went to Atlanta, the big autograph session down there.
Yeah.
And I seen Paul, and, he hugged my neck, I hugged his. And, we talked about the old times, how everything's falling apart. And, I said, that's the way it is, Paul. Man, you got a bunch of babies out here. You hit them too hard, they go home crying. And they want to go out there and plan everything, want to pre-plan everything. Oh, you do this, I'll do this, I'll do that. You do this, I'll do that. We didn't have to do that, Bill.
No, you called it in the ring. You did it in the ring.
Days, you go in one side of the building, the other guy you're working against go to the other side of the building, and you're just as good as the guy you're wrestling or working with. Like Paul Orndorff could be on the other side. I'd go out and work with him. Nobody had to say anything.
Sure.
We knew what to do, and we knew how, and we knew what each one was thinking when we went and do everything. And Roddy Piper, same thing. He come up through when he was in Atlanta, and with Jim Barnett and Vince, he come in there. When I got up there with Piper, he was kind of jealous of me, I think. He didn't want he didn't want me to get over, on him. He wanted to, but we were still friends. It wasn't wrong with that. A lot of people jealous of me. So
what people don't realize is still today in that business, people are always vying to be the top guy. They want that spot, and it's always been that way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And you know what, Bill? I told one guy, I forget which one it was, which guy I told. He said, I'd like to be in your shoes. I said, you would, huh? Well, why don't we just go out tonight and you beat me in the middle of the ring? 1, 2, 3. And don't tell the promoter or nothing. He said, okay, we're going to do that. I said, yes, we can do it. You want to beat me, you beat me in the middle of the ring, and then you got the reputation, you beat Dr. D. Now what you going to do when everybody comes gunning for you? Because they're going to come after you because the promoter's going to raise hell about us doing it. And I'll say, hey, I didn't have nothing to do it. This guy beat me. I tried to protect myself, and he beat me. You want to be the top guy? You want to really live that way? Can you take care of yourself? Well, I don't. Forget it. You can't take care of yourself.
He turned
damn dummy.
he turned into Ralph Cramden.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody thinks they want that top spot, But every time I got in the ring with Ric Flair, or I got in with Dick Steinborn, or I got in with Harley Race, all these guys, we had mutual respect. Nobody was scared of me, and I wasn't scared of them. And we had great matches because we understood the business and we understood what it was all about. And these young guys today, this, I don't know, man.
Again, it's a different business. It's a totally different business.
Different world. They have no idea. And you know what makes me mad about it is the fans don't get their money's worth. And I've always been the type guy, I want to give the fans their money's worth. If I don't have them standing up, screaming and hollering at me, wanting to kill me before I leave the ring or as I leave the ring, I hadn't done my job.
Yeah, I remember that. How did you some fan asked this, and there were two guys in the business who were known as Dr. D, Steve Williams, of course, and you. How did you get the nickname Dr. Death?
Well, it wasn't Dr. Death. Everybody, Dr. Death, somebody put that on there. I was never called Dr. Death.
Oh.
I think they wanted to use that when Vince got rid of me. They wanted to bring Steve Williams in, and they called him Dr. Death, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, they did.
And instead of calling him Dr. D, they called him Dr. Death because I had a copyright on Dr. D.
Didn't know that.
And they couldn't. Yeah, I do. Yeah, and they couldn't use it, which I didn't care if they did. But but that's how Dr. Death came.
Okay.
Dr. D. Dr. D was just a thing that everybody put on me because guys would come in the dressing room, they couldn't walk.
Yeah.
And I'd help them out. I'd massage them, adjust them like a chiropractor. I wasn't a chiropractor, but I knew how thing that would hurt you in the ring, and just a little bit of liniment, a little massage, and a little pop here and there, and make you feel better.
Oh yeah, there were a lot. There were a lot of guys that were able to do that. Yeah, I've seen that in the dressing rooms. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I know, and a lot of the old guys like Catch McKenzie. Man, he had them long, slapping arm. He wrapped around your head, and you don't know where he was going to pop next.
Oh, I know. He had those long arms. And
yes, he did. Long legs. His legs would wrap around your arms. You couldn't even like a spider.
He could crack your neck and your foot at the same time.
Yeah, what a nice guy. I had one of my first matches with him as a professional, and I come out of the ring, and he come back over to that dressing room. He said, "How long you been working, kid?" I said, "About 2 weeks."
Wow.
He said, "Well, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be okay. Don't you worry about it. You're gonna be good." He said, "Just slow down a little bit and take it easy." Of course, I could tell I was screwing up out there, so he beat the hell out of me.
Yes. So
but it didn't bother me, I mean, that's the only way you're gonna learn. Get out there and do it,
That's the best way. Another fan wanted to know: did you ever wrestle Dynamite Kid?
Who now?
The Dynamite Kid.
Oh, yeah.
You did?
Again, Dynamite, we wrestled each other several times in Calgary. We was partners in Japan. In the book, it's got pictures of me, Dynamite Kid, and myself in Japan. And we used to do a lot of tag team, but Dynamite, every once in a while, he'd end up on the other side because they wanted him a good guy. And, in Calgary. And, we had great matches, man, Dynamite and me, Dynamite always wanted to try to arm wrestle me and beat me, and he never could.
Really?
So he was all upset with me because he never could beat me arm wrestling,
Are you still doing that? You still?
Well, I'm kind of, I've quit working out, and I've not completely quit, but I can probably still beat 80% of everybody. But
Richard, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just technique, the arm wrestling thing. Strength's there too, but I'm not a professional arm wrestler. No, they would break my arm if I tried to do that.
You know who used to love to do that when guys came to the TBS studios in Atlanta? Ole Anderson used to try and arm wrestle everybody.
Yeah, I never got with Ole. I know in Calgary, like Brett said when he was talking to me, he said, "Nobody ever beat you up there, man. Everybody came in Calgary would try me, and nobody ever beat me." And I said, "Yeah, well, it's just I guess everybody was cold."
Yeah. Give us your memories. Richard Bain says, "I remember when Dr. D wrestled Nick Bockwinkel. Bockwinkel, to me, was one of the finest in-ring performers and one of the nicest and most intelligent people I've ever met."
Yes, you're absolutely right. He was, and he was a technical performer. He'd go out with, he'd go out with me, and I'd work my butt off, and he'd just take the ride, the punches, the smile, whatever. And then when it was time for him to do his thing, he just methodically did it, and then he'd slow you down. Bockwinkel used to like to hit you in the solar plex. If you rushed him too much, he would give you that punch in the darn right there in the sternum and just bend you over. And that you had to get your breath. But he wouldn't know. He could take care of himself, I imagine. But I never had a problem with him, man. He was so easy in the ring,
Yes, everybody said that. So he was managed by Bobby Heenan. Do you have a good Bobby Heenan story?
No, I never heard about. He's got so many stories. Bobby used to hang around with us in AWA. We all used to hang around together.
Yep. Yeah. But Bobby was quite a character too. Let me see. Thoughts on, hang on a minute. I lost my, well, in your book, I was just looking through some of the pages, and there's a cover of the Wrestler magazine, one of the magazines I used to work for, and you've got a chin lock on Ric Flair. Tell us about Ric Flair.
Ric Flair was a great. Let me tell you, I love working with him.
That's great.
He was so exciting, and people loved him and hated him so much. But when he went against me, they loved him. And this guy was. These are professionals. These are people that know how to work in the ring. They know how the people react to everything. They know how they react to a chin lock. They know how the arm bar. They know what the people are going to do, these guys, And that's reason they're big stars like they are, because they could perform like that every night, 6 nights, 7 nights a week.
Yeah.
Years and years, all over, because they could work with anybody, because they was good enough to do that. They had the ring psychology to do it.
You wrestled night after night after night, and it's just like any type of this is physical performance, but it's just like a singer, an actor that goes out every night and they have to be fresh and make it brand new again. How did you do that?
Well, you just it's really no problem when you know what you're doing. I remember one night, Jimmy Snuka. I went in the ring with him in Landover, Maryland. 45 minutes, never touched him.
Wow.
And the people were trying to climb in the ring and never touched him. And that's the ring psychology you develop with him. But when I did touch him and we started fighting, it didn't last for 4 or 5 minutes. And we ended up out on the floor, double count out, and the people were just all over trying to get in the ring and everything else. And I didn't touch him for 45 minutes.
Yeah. That was beautiful, brother.
Who's that?
I said, that was beautiful, brother. Doing my snooker. Well, listen, we're just about out of time for this segment. So I want to once again plug your book here. And by the way, there are pictures of you against the Dynamite Kid in this book too.
Yeah.
And
let me, Bill, I want to tell you, Barry. You know Barry down at Huntsville, Alabama?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I was talking to him a few minutes ago about August 11th. He wants me to appear in Huntsville, Alabama, which I probably will. But he said to tell you hello.
Oh.
I didn't want to forget that because I told him I'd tell you. But you're going to be up there in Monroe Saturday, right?
I will be there. You and I will see each other. I'll be selling my book.
Hey, don't run off this time now. If you catch me in a bad mood, don't run off.
No, you know what? This time you're going to run off.
I tell you, you don't know how many people I've run off. I tell you, I had one guy come up and I didn't know who he was, but I was a little rough with him, and he took off. And when I left the arena, I remember this was a good friend of mine back in the day.
Yeah. Well, no, this time you're going to run off on me.
I'm scared right now.
I know it. You know what? Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, let me do this. So you're right, and you can have your rebuttal. You know something, Schultz? Saturday afternoon in Monroe, New Jersey. It's gonna be you. It's gonna be me, and the guy doing the running. You better bring your sneakers because Apter is gonna make you go. What do you have to say?
Yeah.
Ralph Cramden.
I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. I got chill bumps all over my body.
That's it. You better stay at that rest stop.
Well, I'm glad that I'm driving tonight where I don't have to sleep, because I wouldn't sleep a wink if I had to after that interview.
I'm telling you.
I'd be thinking about it all night.
I'm telling you. Hey, listen.
Just remember this, Bill. I'm a rich woman's love and a poor girl's dream.
I got it.
Hey, well, I should have said that. My wife might be listening. I'm sorry, baby.
No, we've got her banned from the show, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, there you go.
We blocked her.
Good.
Don't call me fake. You can get the book Saturday. You can get it anywhere, bookstores and all that. Dr. D, David Schultz, a pleasure. And we're not ending this on Saturday. We're going to talk once a month or so and have you on and because you're one of my favorite guests in the whole world.
And everybody's saying right now that's the greatest book ever been wrote about wrestling. I mean, overall, it's still number one.
Well, wait a minute. You still have my book to deal with too.
Yeah, well, yeah. I've been waiting. I mean,
Now your book says "Don't Call Me Fake." My book is wrestling fixed? I didn't know it was broken. So, yeah.
Exactly. I didn't know it was broken.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you on Saturday.
All
Thank
right,
you, Dr.
be careful.
D.
Thanks, Bill.
Great to talk to you
later.
again.
Bye-bye.
Looking forward to it. Dr. D. David Schultz, boy, he's incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm so thrilled to be able to see him again in person. And you know what? I'm going to take him. Maybe to the movies, maybe to dinner. Right now, let's go to TV. Travis Volts, this week's Raw
Howdy,
rankings.
howdy, fans. T Volts back again with your Raw Top 10 for the legendary Bill Apter.
Well, thank you,
Let's get
T-Volts.
right into it. Coming in at number 10, glorious Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode, number 10.
9, and continually
Hold on a minute.
climbing the ranks.
T-Volt,
Dolph
hang
Ziggler.
on. Let's start you again because
Howdy,
There you
fans.
go.
T Volts back again with your Raw Top 10
yes.
for the legendary
Well, thank
Bill
you.
Apter. Let's get right into it. Coming in at number 10,
Legend in my own
glorious Bobby Roode. Number 9, and continually climbing the ranks, Dolph Ziggler. Coming in at number 8, ain't he great, Drew McIntyre. Number 7, who wants to walk with Elias.
Sure.
Number 6, don't hinder, it's Jinder Mahal. Number 5, Kevin Owens. Number 4, who seems to be on quite a run as of late, Finn Balor.
Yes.
Number 3 remains the big dog in the yard, Roman Reigns, who got quite the reaction from the fans this week on Monday Night Raw.
He sure did.
And speaking of big reactions, big Braun Strowman comes in at number 2, leaving, of course, the MVP, Mr. Monday Night Rollins himself, in the number 1 slot, your Intercontinental Champion, Seth Rollins. And the top of the heap, you may have forgot, but he has it. It's your Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar.
Where is he?
Hey, fans, if you want more from T-Volts, check out my lonely Facebook group, Pro Wrestling Newsstand. Until then, back to you, Bill.
Thank you, Travis. And I love that Pro Wrestling Newsstand. It's a great name for what Travis does. And I appreciate you giving us your rankings every single show here. And also Wrestler of the Week from the gorilla position. So now it's time to see if we can get, for the past several weeks, we have been trying to call Robbie E. And we have not connected with him because of a couple of kids. So we're going to try and get him again now. Let's see. I hope you clicker counters aren't getting this here because I'll get in trouble. All right, let's see if we can get Robbie E. It's ringing.
We did it.
No, we're out of time. I'm sorry.
What's going on?
It's been really nice talking to you again. After 3 or 4 attempts, I've told the people watching live here that the reason that you have not appeared on the show was due to some kids. And
I do have baby twins. They're a month, they're a year and a half old now, and I definitely add to it because not only do I have a few screws loose, so I forget time.
well, we know that.
But also they occupy a lot of my time.
So how old are the kids?
They're a little over a year and a half, 19 months.
So, and you're home with them how often?
Yeah, I mean during the week because my wife works during the week. So like while she's working, I'll be daddy daycare with them, and then she watches them on the weekend, and then I'm away on the weekend wrestling. So we kind of miss each other a lot. But it works out pretty good. But yeah, it's hilarious when I'm with them
Well,
alone.
you
You
got
Bill.
you've got to give us one or two quick anecdotes about things that have happened with you and the kids. I saw the picture on Twitter today, and the first thing I thought of was Robbie E and the Little Rascals.
Well, I mean, if you had a video camera and followed me around for just one day, you could probably have about episodes and episodes worth of footage and so many jokes, because every 10 minutes something funny happens.
Well,
Whether they're throwing stuff at me or beating each other up or loving each other, it's hilarious.
Well, give us one or two. Be our video camera right now, and give us some stuff that may have happened in the last few weeks that you came home and your wife said, "How was everything today?" And you said, "Oh my God."
Well, I did get peed on this week.
You did?
Not once, but twice. Yeah, because I bathed them that night, so they only pee on me now in the tub. So like once you put their feet in the tub, it's warm, it just squirts out. So I just got peed straight up on.
This is exclusive right here on the Apter chat. You haven't heard it anywhere else.
I mean, that's always nice. Yeah. Have you ever been peed on, Bill?
Oh, when my kids were little, of course.
Well, it's not pleasant, you know, even though it is cute as you're doing it and laughing.
Oh, it's very cute. And my dog, my poodle, when she was a baby, she got me a couple of times.
Well, and then also we were at the food store and we were leaving in the car. And when I got to the car, I realized that one of my kids, Carter, he stole a box of like mint thingies because he was shaking it, and I didn't realize he had it. And we were in the car and he had the mint.
What was it?
He stole something.
What was it?
It was like at the register. There's mints.
Oh, like
so
Tic Tacs. Tic Tacs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. So
you see that? So I got a peer and a thief.
So you've got a new life now. Before this came into your life, you were wrestling full time. So how often are you are you strictly a weekend warrior right now?
Well, I'm on the road still 3 to 4 days a week because I'm wrestling all over the West. I'm still out of the country. I get tours coming up. I'm actually at a show right now in Vermont.
You are?
But I just debuted a new character. Robbie E is kind of out the window, and now at the Robert Strauss brand, and I started full-time for Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore. So I'm doing this new motivational speaker character, which is like an awesome version of me. So I can help you change your life, man.
Wow. I like this. And when did this start?
I actually just debuted. The videos have been airing on Twitch for the House of Hardcore weekly TV show, but I actually just debuted this past weekend for him in Canada and upstate New York, and I will be moving forward on all of the shows. So,
is it Robert Strauss?
Yes, the Robert Strauss brand.
And what my
name is?
What does he sound like?
Well, he sounds like the guy you're talking to right now.
Yeah.
He helping you change your life. So I can help everybody. So if you're a loser, I can help you be less of a loser. And if you're a billionaire, I can help make you a billionaire. But no matter what you got, I can make it better.
You can make it better. So you don't do the opposite. If someone's a billionaire, I can make you a loser?
No, that's not going to happen. No, I'm going to help you, man, as long as you pay me, though. You just got to pay me.
I just figured that would be a great counter character to you. The same guy that comes in and does that as tag team partner is the opposite way around. So I want to find out now how it ended. Your show, your podcast. I've listened to a couple of episodes, and I'm really fascinated. And I see that you've got a tremendous audience at this point. Tell us how this happened, how it started.
Well. So to get into the podcast game, I was a little reluctant because there's just so many, and unless it was going to be something different, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then I thought about a lot of guys who people don't know their stories, who have kind of disappeared, which might be interesting to fans to hear from guys and say, "Oh wow, I forgot that guy existed." So I came up with the name Why It Ended, and it's basically just interviewing guys of why their career or just one of their TV runs ended, and they might still be wrestling full time.
Yeah.
But basically just a story of how it began all the way to why it ended. And I mean, I'm a cocky, confident guy, but even I was not expecting it to be as big as it is, because it really is blowing up. We're getting great numbers, and everyone seems to love it. We've only got positive feedback.
So where can people find Why It Ended?
So It drops every Wednesday on MLW Network, and then, of course, it's on iTunes and everywhere else you could get podcasts. And on Twitter and Instagram, at White Ended, you can follow it. And, yeah, it's me and my co-host, Matt Kuhn. And this episode, this week just dropped from Jacobs. Last week was Marty Jannetty, and next week is James Ellsworth. But, I mean, we've had some great guests on, and all the stories are unique. And the guys just come along because I think, because I'm a fellow wrestler, they're just willing to open up. So it's just going really well.
What has there been one or two episodes that you could share with us where somebody said something that really surprised you?
Oh, well, I'll tell you, I'd say the Just Incredible and the Buff Bagwell episodes were the craziest. And they didn't just say something that surprised me. They said about 100 things that surprised me. But, I mean, if you really just listen to the whole episode, I think you're just going to be shocked the whole time because they both really open up to some crazy things that have happened in their life and career and stuff that I didn't even know about. And they're emotional interviews. And the good thing is, aftermath of the interviews, they're getting a lot more bookings. They're getting some social media buzz. So it helps them out a little bit. And so, you know, it's positive to tell their story so people can hear it and, you know, want to give them a chance.
Yes. So let's go back to Robbie E. So why did that end? Why did Robbie E. and this new character?
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I had 7 great years in TNA, and it was time to leave TNA. Just, you know, it's a different situation there, money-wise and everything. And it was time for me at 34 years old to try some new things, which I am. And as for the name Robbie E., it's not that it's fully dead, but Jersey Shore is played out. And, you know, in 2018, you got to keep yourself fresh and relevant. And I'm always trying new things. And it's just time to try something new. So we'll see. And so far, it's going good.
Let's go back. You mentioned TNA, and let's talk about the good stuff of TNA. I know it helped bring you into people's homes. Who are some of the guys that you really appreciated wrestling against in the TNA rings?
Oh, my God. Over the years, I mean, there were so many. But, I mean, 2 guys that I traveled with a lot, that taught me a lot, who, you know, I had great matches with. Eric Young, Bobby Roode. Those are 2 of my boys. Us 3 used to drive every other. And I mean, I'm so proud of them for what they're doing right now.
I was going to ask you
again whether.
No, I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you about that because both of them are doing so well currently in the WWE.
Yeah, no, I mean, it couldn't have happened to 2 better guys, nicer guys, more knowledgeable guys, and guys who have busted their behind to get where they are because they've wrestled all over the world for so many years, so they deserve the break that they're getting. But I just learned so much from them, not just inside the ring, but outside the ring too, just traveling with them. And they're just great guys. You know, I'm still friends with them and talk to them regularly and stuff. So it's great to see former TNA guys now getting such a big shot on a big platform. Yeah,
a lot of fans were joking back when we started, when NXT started, they were calling it NXTNA because so many of the guys.
Right? Yes. For a while, it seemed like that.
One of our fans who's chiming in the chat room here, he's called the Godson 1197, said, I remember Robbie when he debuted in 2010 with Becky Bayless. Was that your debut year, 2010?
Yes. October 7th, 2010, on a live edition of Impact, Robbie Cookie debuted with a promo segment. That's correct.
Yeah. Now, where did you get your training from in this business, Rob?
I started in 2000. When I was 16, I'm 34 now, so that's how long I've been wrestling.
You're that old? Oh, my goodness.
I'm 34, yeah, right?
Right.
I started at IWF in New Jersey,
right?
A small school, and that is where I met Simon Diamond, who used to help out there, Pat Penny, and he later helped me get my job with TNA because he was an agent there, so everything came full circle.
Yeah, so everything seems to be going great with you. Tell us where fans can find you on social media.
Well, Twitter at Robbie E Impact and Instagram at Real Robbie E. And then, of course, you know, Wide Ended at Wide Ended on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay.
And that's it.
It's the hay fever season, which is why this is Nasty Nate just chimed in. He'd like to see Robbie E versus Zack Ryder at WrestleMania.
You know, never say never. It could happen. We're happy to have a match almost every day on Twitter versus each other. But I'm sure one day it'll end up happening in the ring.
Was there a dream match that you've always, since you got into this business, was there that one guy you said from the past or even the present that is your dream opponent?
Who is my dream opponent?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I have to compare it to who I loved the most as a kid. So my era of wrestling as a little child was like Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior era.
Yeah.
So it was Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior, Sting. So my two favorites were Ultimate Warrior and Sting. So Ultimate Warrior obviously can't happen, and Sting I actually got to wrestle in a main event of Impact once. So I kind of already wrestled him.
Right.
But I would have loved to wrestle Hulk Hogan. That would have been cool. But I did get to do some backstage interviews with him, which was pretty dope. I forgot about those.
It's time to bring him back to the WWE. Everybody's saying. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's his home. Come on. I mean, when you think of wrestling at all, like people that aren't, hardcore wrestling fans, you just know that he's one of the only ones they heard of. And if you go up to someone and say, hey, what do you know about wrestling? They say Hulk Hogan.
First name that comes up. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So it's like, it's a shame that he's not associated with him, but he will be again.
And if there was no social media in the world, nobody would have known what went on, would they have?
This is true.
Yeah.
No one would know a lot of things that go on, Bill.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, Robbie, we want to thank you. And where can people find you live and in person in the next few weeks?
Best way, because I have so much stuff coming up, is just my website, robbie-e.com, has my full schedule. That's the best way to find out, because it's just too many to list. We'll be on the phone forever.
Yeah, we got it. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything you'd like to say that would be very beneficial to the Robert Strauss?
The last thing I want to get in is just for my podcast fans out there to please keep listening and make sure you subscribe and to just leave reviews every week and let everyone know how much you're loving it. I appreciate it.
Oh, wait a minute. Last minute here. One more question. How was it like working with Jesse Gutierrez?
It was awesome. Jesse was super new at the time, and he got so much better as we were teaming. That's why they kind of put him with me, because I was more experienced. And he's a great guy. He's doing his thing right now in LA, and he's still doing some acting stuff, and he'll wrestle occasionally. But I had a blast. Romance is one of my most favorite times of my career.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, thank you so much, and say hello to the babies and your lovely wife, and the Little Rascals. That's what I saw. That's
all right.
I couldn't stop.
Robbie and the Rascals.
Oh, wow! New tag team 20 years from now. I love it.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Robbie. We'll see you at the matches.
All right, take it easy.
All right, Robbie E. Such a pleasure to finally connect with him after all these 4 weeks of trying. So if you're on Twitter, go to his Twitter page and look up the pictures of his two little kids. You remember Little Rascals? Okay, let me look on our lineup here. Today we're doing 1 hour and we're almost out of time. At this point, the Gonzo Shark is swimming toward us. And the Gonzo Shark every week brings us some top 10 rankings. And this week he has brought us the women's division ranking. So Gonzo Shark swimming here.
What's up, humanoids? This is Gonzo Shark
It's
for
him.
Bill Apter's Video
Humanoids.
Magazine podcast. And I'm back to bring you this week's WWE Women's Top 10 rankings. So let's kick it off. At number 10, training partner of Ronda Rousey, who suffered a huge defeat to the reigning Raw Women's Champion Nia Jax this week, Natalya. At number 9, the leader of the Riot Squad,
Controversy.
Ruby Riott. At number 8 is a woman who suffered a huge upset loss this week. Totally shocked me. Probably shocked everybody else too. I'm talking about former SmackDown Live Women's Champion, the Queen, Charlotte. Number 7 is the woman who saved the day on Raw during the handicapped women's tag team match. I'm talking about Bayley. At number 6, the boss, Sasha Banks. At number 5, the woman who pulled off the incredible upset win, I should say, this week on SmackDown, and defeated Charlotte. I'm talking about Becky Lynch. At number 4, still my favorite for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and I think she's probably one of the best talents to have come up in the women's division in a long time.
I know where you're going.
I'm talking about Ember Moon.
Yeah.
At number 3, the number 1 contender for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. At number 2, reigning defending SmackDown Live Women's Champion, the Princess of Staten Island, Carmella.
Yeah.
And at number 1, the reigning defending Raw Women's Champion, Nia Jax, who will have a huge match and a huge test on her hands come Money in the Bank when she goes up against Ronda Rousey. So that does it for this week's rankings. You guys can find me on Twitter at GonzoShark1. You can also check me out now on Instagram, the Gonzo Shark. Please go to those 2 places. Check me out. Look at my material at OneWrestling.com, Vince Russo's The Brand, and WrestlingWithWrestling.com. Until next time,
Gonzo.
This is the Gonzo Shark checking out for Bill Apter's Video Magazine podcast. And I'm going to give it back to the man himself, Bill Apter.
Well, thank you very much, Gonzo Shark. There he is. He's swimming out there. Jaws. Oh my God, they got him? No, he's out. So he will be back. He will be back next week. Let me get to some of your questions before we go to recess here, and so you can watch Impact Wrestling. See if you have any questions that I can answer. Having a little computer glitch here, but this is fine. Let's go back to the, I keep getting these install Chrome things here, and I already have Chrome. Bill, let's get another 10 minutes, please. I haven't been here in a while. Amy, next week for sure. I'm sorry. Amy, if you have a question, type it in now. Nasty Nate, you should interview the Blue Meanie. Great, and we will. Definitely will. Richard Bain, Brock Lesnar versus Bruno Sammartino would have been interesting. Yeah, I think Lesnar and Rusev would be perfect. Would have been perfect opponents for for Brock Lesnar. Bruno and Rusev would have been okay. Let's start that again. Brock Lesnar and Rusev would have been great opponents for Bruno Sammartino. Bill, are you going on Jericho's cruise? I have not been booked yet, so somebody call him, ask him, and maybe we can work that out. Let me see. Teddy says Gino Hernandez was the best heel ever. He was a great heel. He really was. He was one of the first guys to send pictures to us at the magazines of him with big stars like Farrah Fawcett Majors and Bianca Jagger. So Richard Bain, Dr. D versus Randy Savage would have been awesome to see. Ooh, I would have liked that very much. I didn't ask Dr. D how old he was because he would have smacked me down. Can someone put the AOP on the side of a milk carton? The tag division misses them. Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's missing in action. Javio. Hey, a little off topic. The Inside Wrestling cover of Kerry Von Erich with the milk and P.S. Michael Hayes with Jack Daniels. Were they separate photos or both in the studio at the same time? Craig Peters took that photo in the dressing room down in Dallas, Texas. So it was one photo. They actually posed for us. Mr. Apter, I'm sure you're aware of the tragic event of the Rock and Rebel. Very much so. And his Stephanie, his wife, her mother has a GoFundMe going on regarding funding the funeral. So please see if you can find that and help her. What a tragic situation. Tragic situation. Jody Adley said you saw the CMT Awards last night. Yes, great stuff. Great stuff. I'm a big country music fan. Dave 25 CM Punk says CM Punk is done with wrestling. For now, he is. You never know. The right circumstance, the right place, the right time. You never know. Again, This coming Saturday, I will be at Legends of the Ring in Monroe, New Jersey. Go to www.legendsofthering.com. This guy, Dr. D, David Schultz, will be there as well, along with about 30 or 40 other legends. The next day, a lot of them are in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Go to Bud Carson's Facebook page, and you can find the information there. There's no more Pro Wrestling World there, but he's running at a local firehouse in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And of course, I'd love to see you on Saturday with or without my book. If you don't have it, I'll be selling them there. This is Bill Apter. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Pass the word around that we're here every Thursday night from 7 p.m. until about 8 or 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thank you all for your fanship. And I'll see you at the matches.